Hey everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and I am back with another review. And today we're taking a look at the Transformers War for Cybertron Earthrise line. This is Decepticon Airwave. Airwave continues the modern interpretations of the old G1 Micromaster bases, making them modulators. And it's giving them a robot mode. And then instead of going from a building to a battle station, you can take the figures apart and reconfigure them however you see fit. Now, believe it or not, Airwave actually has 4 modes. Now, I think the fourth mode is really designed for the repaint of Airwave into Hot House, since it's a tank, and Hot House was a tank. But it is included with Airwave, so we'll include it here. And here's Airwave in its robot mode. The head is based on its the G1 Micromaster. Interesting little scheme here. He has a nice little gun hand. Not too big into the modulators in this line. They're replacing the weaponizers from Siege, and I think the weaponizers were a lot nicer. These figures, of course, can be used as armor for larger figures, but I mean, when you had something like 6-gun or COG, you broke them down. You actually had some pretty heavy guns there. And this, you just have a lot of parts that I think really just work more for armor. But there is articulation. Now, keep in mind, all these joints are really designed more to be broken down, but it is there, and I do appreciate they do work in ankle pivot and tilt. There is a waist swivel, again, part of the connection, as well as movement in the shoulders and arms. On this arm, you will have to move that pad out of the way. But yeah, it's really, first, I think before we get into the transformation, there is no real transformation. The instructions show breaking the figure down. So I think that's how we'll start. So first thing you want to do is rip the arm apart, and then you'll press that shoulder pad into place, and then it'll sort of soft tab into the forearm guard, and that's one piece right there. Go ahead and remove these weapons from the arm, and go ahead and remove the arm as well. They break down into 3 components here. These two are exactly the same, so no need to remember which is which. And basically, to rotate the arm, what you want to do is end up with these 2 tabs facing the same direction. That'll, these tabs come into play with a couple of the modes, so we'll put that there. Next, what you want to do is rotate the head around, the robot head around, and get in there. It's a little tight with your big fingers. Fold the head down like that, separate from the waist, and then go ahead and separate the legs. With this piece, you want to rotate it up. There's a tab here on the waist piece that will peg into the inside of the legs. I'm sorry, inside of the calf there. And then for the lower legs, what you want to do is, I find it a little easier to move the ankle out a little to give yourself some room. Unpeg the tank tread from that post right there, and then flatten out the legs just like so. And there you have a mess of parts ready to be reassembled. And we'll do that right after this. Okay, we're going to start off in its, I guess, like rolling aircraft carrier type mode, what have you. And basically what you want to do is take these 2 pieces, turn this piece upside down, and then this will peg in to the bottom there, so the treads with rolling wheels are facing down. Next, what you want to do is come in here, and you'll grab the leg pieces. There's a hole there in the bottom of the foot. You'll peg them in, and right there is a little notch that's going to fit into the groove of the foot, and one side is always a little bit easier to do than the other, but just get them in like that. It does. One thing, this mode really comes together quite securely. And then the next step is, as we straighten things out, you want to grab this section. And by the way, you will notice that this piece, this secondary section can all be broken down more and has that modular ramp connection. But we're going to peg it in right here, just like so, and keep that as little flat as possible. You might have to reconfigure some things around. Just, it does come together quite nicely, but because everything is so easy to move, you might have some issues. Next step is you want to come underneath, bend at that joint ever so slightly, come in, bring in this piece, which was the other arm. There's 2 holes there that you're going to peg this into, and then there are slots on the back of the treads that will peg into place and hold the ramp steady. And if you notice, I am trying to keep everything level. It's just, that's about as good as it's going to get. And then to finish off, you're going to bring these little weapon pieces in. That round piece goes on top, and then these 2 pieces come in on the side. And yeah, it rolls. It's like a rolling aircraft carrier. Put the MicroMasters on and what have you. There's unfortunately no way in this mode to connect it to the larger bases, but it is what it is. Now, we're going to go quickly from this mode into the secondary vehicle mode. I never had Airwave, so I don't know what its primary mode was. I think this is actually what we're going to go to was the primary vehicle mode. But come in, separate the legs from that base section, and then separate here from underneath. You're going to keep this section together just like that. And now what you're going to do is on the back of what were the feet in robot mode are another set of pegs that you'll just use and peg in there and there. This will be straight out like this. And then you can come in underneath, and on these little secondary sections, you'll peg in these posts, the arms here. Again, doesn't lock in, like nothing really comes together here. I mean, this is all being really held together by the pegs there in the middle. And then what you can do is form that little tower there and plug this in on the side. And yeah, this one, as you can see, has openings on either side there. So that comes in quite nicely, that you're able to connect this to the larger bases and what have you. But I like this. I don't like it as much as I like that first mode, just because it doesn't come together as tightly. But then again, this can now be connected to the other Decepticon bases and other, bridges and modulators and all that stuff. Oh my. Okay, so the final mode is that tank mode, and I'll tell you right now, the tank mode is my least favorite. Let's go ahead and again take everything apart. Move this arm here and there. And of course, as always with all of these little modulator type doohickey deals, you can of course create your own. That's part of the adventure and part of the fun of these, and cross combine them, yada yada. So we got all this apart, and now what you're going to do is you're going to take the arm piece here that has the clips on it, and you're going to attach it directly to the legs, just like so, and then go ahead and flip down the heel pieces. Next, what you're going to do is you're going to take the calves, and they will peg on the inside here, just like so. And now you're going to detach everything from that secondary set of hinges here. Again, as I mentioned, these, you can use these to this connect to there, whatever. Come over here, and then you'll swing this around so this peg is facing up, and this will clip in just like so. And while we have this piece separate, you can go ahead and peg in the blasters here to the end. These will form like the stationary cannons. Take this piece, and this will peg in right up front here into the robot fist. And using the holes that are at the bottom of the feet, you'll attach this like so. And you notice how that this is kind of not as stable as the other modes. See how that flips down? I'm a little disappointed by that. We're just about done. Next, what you want to do is, and you're going to need your fingernail for this, come in, flip out that piece, and basically what you want to do is rotate this so this will peg in to this piece right here. As I flip it back up, the holes are a little tight, which is what she said. Get it up in there, just like that. And then you can rotate the whole contraption up. That's like, I guess, to give like a little counterbalance. And then you are supposed to like angle this up slightly, which will help flatten it out. Yeah, like I said, this is really not one of my favorite modes. As you can see, the treads are all upside down. It doesn't roll. It's just like a stationary thing. And yeah, it's just really floppy. It's like, I think they wanted to come up with something for Hot House, and this is the best they can do. So we'll pause right here, and I'll be back with my final thoughts. Okay, so like I said, I'm not a big fan of these modulator types. Haven't even opened Ironworks yet, but Airwave's kind of cool. I like the color scheme, the blue, the orange, the gray, and the modes are pretty good. I mean, as long as you stick with the robot mode and those first two alternate vehicle modes, I think you'll be okay. That third vehicle mode is a little off, but like I said, I think that's for the Hot House repaint, which I won't be getting because I, really am just sticking with the retail releases because, I mean, they're not like the original vehicles. I actually have a few of these MicroMaster bases, and it's kind of disappointing to see that Hasbro isn't being as faithful to them as they could. So, if you are interested in getting Airwave, it is shipping from Amazon.com and I think some other online retailers now, and can be found. That's my cat, folks, just so you know. She's attacking my backdrop. And it can be found at like retail as we speak. So, this is your old pal Chuck. If you like this video, please think about liking, commenting, and subscribing. While I'm happy with the views and Delilah's going crazy, the liking and commenting helps with the algorithm to get the views out there. If you really like my videos, there is a little link in the description at the upper right hand corner, as well as a link in the description below to go to my Patreon. All I ask for is $1 a month. No tiers, no rewards, no thrills. It just helps me bring more videos like this to you and keeping my cat full of kibble. Are you seeing that, guys? I know I should probably edit this, but I just think it's funny. This is your old pal Chuck for Airwave. And Delilah Bijou. Yeah, come on, look at the camera. Just don't bite the box. We will see you next time.